Alright, so we're gonna start up our playthrough here of the title of this game again. What Remains of Edith Finch? Wow, I could almost remember that there for a second. So, this is kind of an interesting game. It's a story-driven game. Supposedly it's kind of sad, from what I've read, but very good. Essentially you're this girl who is in Washington State, and is trying to uncover, like, things and events and stuff that have happened. It's kind of like a mix between like Gone Home, Life is Strange. What other kind of games, I guess? Well, anyway, it's kind of like an adventure, point-and-click story. Well, you'll see. It's pretty cool, I guess. Edith Finch.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Alright, so we're gonna go to this house. As you can see, it is a pretty game. Like, I mean, the foliage is actually pretty spot on.
But I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Interesting. She wasn't allowed inside specific rooms. That's kind of questioning right there. Like, why not?
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
See, I wear a necklace and like a vest.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Her brother died. It's pretty nice here, though. This is Washington State, so we were on a ferry, so.
My mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Now, do I go this way or this way? Unless I can go both ways. I think I'm gonna go this way.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Few hoof prints. Is that a sleeping bag right there? Or is that a rock down there? Right, rock. Oh shit! What's up, bro? Should let me pet you, man.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
That doesn't make sense though. If you inherit something, wouldn't you want to go back to it?
About my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Questions about her family. I say if you inherit it, wouldn't you want to like come back and just like sell it? If you don't want it? Like, that's what I don't understand.
The house was
F is
exactly
that?
like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Looks kind of cool. But what the F is that? Is that a head? Oh, it's like maybe something they made.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Missing? That was my last name. Milton Finch. that her brother? Ribbit. Yeah, they're like all over.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Really? Why? I mean, I guess it kind of looks creepy, but
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
hmm. So I'm guessing I had to find a way in because it's locked. It's like a normal garage. Oh, it's a doggy door.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
So I'm in the garage. Hey, my old house, we used to have tennis balls hanging, so you know how far to pull into. Decent amount of tools, couple missing there. It's one of these old swimming pools. Like all I'm seeing in here is like almost like a flashback to like mid 90s.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Well, yeah, 'cause he didn't pay bills. Didn't pay no bills, yo.
For the first time in years,
This is 2010.
I felt like I was home.
Man, they sure have a lot of books around here. I guess.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. I was gonna say they have a lot of books, but that's probably because they didn't have power, and it obviously looks post-apocalyptic. But 2010, like, why would it be based off 2010? Like, what would happen? I guess in this alternate dimension, maybe there's something that had happened, and I'm sure we'll get to know
Like how
what's
only
going
one
on.
restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
Was that Imperial Palace? Such like a generic Chinese food place name. Let's see.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Hmm. Yeah, the house does have some character to it. Lots of books, though. Man, they were not TV watchers at all, it looks like. Especially if they didn't have power or whatever might have been happening to have a house look like this, I guess. This is raising a lot more questions than it's giving me answers to right now.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Hmm.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
What happened? Look at this door. Jeez. Siliconed. Or foam, whatever, off and like locked. What's going on in this house? Remember, she also was barred from going into
After
specific
Milton
rooms.
disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
So there's peepholes. Where are these peepholes at? Oh, okay. We're talking about just like.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
What? What? How do you spend 7 years sharing a room with a dead person? Wouldn't it like decay and stink? Like, look at this. It even has like Why are they trapped in these? Like, I don't understand. What is going on?
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Yeah, I know. So Gregory pretty much had a bathroom to live in? That's kind of odd. What is this? Stephen Hofstede Finch and Eddie. Wait, 2010? I suppose
The
they
last time
left.
I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Hmm. It's kind of cool artwork though. Space and got like random photos. Just wants a little bit more answers though, or something here, because this is like kind of weird. See, they have a TV. They sure have a lot of books. Just books scattered everywhere. Oh, what's in here?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
It's kind of
I think
cool.
my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Why? It's cool. It's like you're under the ocean. There's like a train.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Oh, there's a key. Haha!
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it
Whoa,
was time
weird.
to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Where am I going? It's kind of cool. Tell there's like little kids.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Uh-huh.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
Whoa, what was this?
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Right. Oh, owls. Owls are probably pretty common in Washington. Yeah, look at an owl. That was through a closet.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
See, that's
Being
so
inside
weird.
for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Mm. So I don't get, so if they were locked up or sealed up, like were they sealed up after they died, I'm guessing? Or disappeared? I mean, they wouldn't obviously seal them up when they're still living there, because how would they get in and out if they're sealing them up? She had a nice view though.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Oh geez. Eat gerbil food?
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Okay.
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Oh yeah, she's got fish. Hey, fishy, fishy. I thought about it. No, don't eat the fish.
I kept eating and eating.
Ew, that's one thing you don't want to do is eat toothpaste. It's not good for you. Too much fluoride in it.
I ate a lot of things that night.
What? Are those even real?
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly,
Whoa!
there was a cat.
Just turned into a flipping cat, bro. Trippy.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Hello. I'm a cat, yo. Am I gonna eat this bird? Is that what's gonna happen?
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Oh, jeez.
I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First,
Now I'm an owl.
it was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Where am I supposed to go?
Rabbits.
Uh-huh.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit.
Oh, jeez.
Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Really now? What am I gonna eat now? Frickin'... What would be bigger than a rabbit for an owl to eat? What do owls eat? I know obviously rabbits.
I'm a rabbit.
Oh, just a bigger one? Oh man. I missed it. big a rabbit.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
This is so weird. Why am I turning into all these different animals? Lol. Why the heck? What? Turn me back into water. I can't even move. Oh my god. Flip flop. Flip flop. Flip flop. Oh my god.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Oh man. Dun 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 dun. What am I supposed to find in here? Not seeing much of anything.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Oh yeah, this is like hard to control. Alright, where'd it go?
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight. And I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Whoa! Am I a snake? Or an eel? I think I'm an eel.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
So weird, but kind of cool.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Oh shit! Wait, am I like an anaconda?
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
So I'm an anaconda, essentially.
passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
This is so weird. Oh, I just came out of a toilet.
I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Weird. So interesting, but odd.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Interesting.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here, before my mom sealed the doors.
Seriously, like, what happened? I want to know what happened here.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Lots of birds. Wait, what? Snake? Bob? Bob the snake? Oxygen tank, anyone? Built in 1937.
We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom.
What was so
When
bad
Edie
about your
told
mom?
people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Oh, that's probably what's in the pond out there then.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
Isn't that almost like... Wait a minute, Edie. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know if anyone's ever seen this movie, Dante's Peak. Wasn't Edie the main old lady grandma character in Dante's Peak that didn't want to leave the house because of the volcano? I'm gonna have to like watch that movie again because I believe her name was Edie. And I'm pretty sure it was in Washington State. I'm wondering if this ties into that movie in a sense. That'd be interesting. I
The
doubt
room's
it,
like
but...
a museum.
I mean, I really doubt it, but it'd be interesting.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune. And misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Weird.
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Oh.
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
How do I exit this? Oh, okay.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
To 1880 to 1937.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
It's kind of cool. I think that's kind of what I'm wearing now. You notice on her hands.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Whoa, his bathroom.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Oh my.
It was a pretty big trace.
Right? It's so pink. And look at this floor. Like, how is that even sanitary in a bathroom? Oh, there's another lock. There's a secret in the bathroom. Oh wait, there's a secret in this bathroom.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Oh, that's cool. Was this like it's like a little film studio developing.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Man, this house is like pretty sick, having all this stuff in here. Hey, there's Milton.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
Interesting. Why not, I wonder?
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
1950 to 61, only 11 years?
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My
Broken
brother
foot.
said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore he'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam, Calvin, dinner's ready.
Coming! But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
Oh, jeez.
I told him going around is impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Alvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
I'm gonna fly,
That's what I
bro.
want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
That was pretty cool.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Maybe a little deja vu. / living in someone else's footsteps.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
So essentially, I guess I understand why the roping off and sealing of doors. It's
Mom
kind of
said
to
Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
it's kind of to like preserve their remembrance as like almost like a shrine to that person, which I guess is kind of cool yet a little creepy.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
A mole man, eh?
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Conspiracy now. My friend Bigfoot. Random junk. Home movies. Edith Junior Lake trip. Where am I supposed to go? Maybe I'm supposed to go back into that one room. Um, hmm. Where am I supposed to go, bro? Hmm. Did say something about a mole man. Hmm. Is the game like glitched maybe? Mount Rainier National Park. When I was out in Washington, I saw that mountain, but I didn't have any time to be able to actually go to it, unfortunately. Okay, there's nothing here. Booze bottles. Oh, lol. Totally missed this right here. Huh. This house is like so like cool.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Hmm.
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
He looks like an inventor, almost.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Hmm. See, look at this, 1944 to 1960. Like, a lot of these people didn't live very long.
Whenever people ask me about my family, The first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Hmm. I'm gonna have to probably continue onward in here.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Oh wait, no, I don't want to go back in. No. Swan Lake.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Strange Labyrinth. Barb Street.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
This is kind of cool concept right here. Playing in a comic book almost.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
In blood.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter. Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Ooh.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
This is so weird. Not there.
Had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Behind you, bro.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear.
Whoa.
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Wow. That's pretty cool, though.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
So where's this music box at? I don't think it's in here. That's gotta be an old moldy cake right there.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Ha ha ha. Alright, where's that music box at then? There's the broken...
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Because you didn't play with it long enough. It's pretty dark in here too. Aha, here we go. That's so cool though. It's down in the creepy basement. Oh, pool table, nice. There's the table saw.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
It's so dark.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Dang. So dark.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Right. Hello, Walter.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years.
30 years he's been down here?
On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
1968.
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a
Peaches.
schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
Why? 1976. He does the same thing like every day?
You get used to anything.
1976.
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
What are they scared of? I want to know. And he's still just eating peaches.
And then one day, everything just
2005, and he's same
Stop.
routine for like 30 years.
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years.
Jeez.
I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
Yeah, you've been down here just like chilling this whole time? Like isolated, afraid, in the dark, reading books probably. It's crazy.
I know it's out there, somewhere.
What is out there? I want to know.
Whatever killed Barbara. And Molly. And Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day. Even if it kills me.
Right?
Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it.
Don't be afraid of today because of what the
I'm going to
past may
appreciate
hold.
all of it, especially the food.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you've been eating peaches like
I don't
this
mind
whole time?
if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
You just get hit by a fucking train?
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Interesting. What is she trying to protect you from, though? Like, I want to know why all these people are in this one house and, like, all weird like this. Like, it still hasn't given me that answer yet.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But
Maybe.
if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
Right? Like,
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive.
jeez.
Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2,
Maybe 2, huh?
I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself. And found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
So supposedly they think they're cursed. Which would make somewhat of a
I don't know if I
sense.
should even be writing this.
Why not?
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
No, don't say that.
But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
Yeah, I want to know more.
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Okay.
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
It's true.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
It's kind of sad.
What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Right? That in alone is creepy.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Really?
3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Derpy. Derpy, Chirpy, Furpy, Zerpy, Zoe, Coco, Tucker, Charlie, Daisy, Lucy. Oh, there's Bob, the snake. 4 years. Five years. 10 years. 7 years. That one had a decent life. Oh, we know. Oh, no, yeah, 2009, yeah. Bailey.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
It's kind of cool. There's Barbara. Oh, she was born on October 31st and died October 31st. That's funny. Well, not funny, but interesting, I guess. So literally born on Halloween and died on Halloween. Well, only 10 years and 2 days after her birthday. Interesting.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
The house on the ship.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Every night, huh? That in itself almost sounds like a curse.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Man, there's so many people just dead.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
That makes sense. I was gonna say I can't see the death date, but that's because he's just like disappeared. And that's why I think she said maybe two, I guess. That would make sense. If Milton could be still alive, it'd be her and Milton.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Got like a treehouse.
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Wait, what? You're 22 weeks pregnant? Who are you pregnant with, girl? Wait, how do I get up here? Oh, there's a ladder over here.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
Grilling, camping, beer in a cooler, some propane.
They were both pretty intense.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. He's
Sam
like,
spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
I'm not supposed to be taking pictures up here.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Oh, there we go.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I definitely won't be moving.
Are you done?
Hey! I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn!
Oh, dang, look at that timing on that. Aw.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Dawn. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
still...
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Oh shit, son. Is that when he
Of all
died?
these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Oh, really? Seemed like a pretty cool dude. Blue room?
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Oh geez, is this like little kid that died?
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Oh, weird.
Time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
Oh, weird.
What his world was like.
5 duckies in a row.
He reminded me so much of Calvin.
Synchronized swimming.
Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was, he saw. It sure made him happy.
Just like knock all these off.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on,
I
I
wish
don't
you could have told us.
Oh, he
We
drowns.
saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything.
So, like, cool.
But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too.
Oh, weird.
Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
A divorce contract, too. Man, can't believe he drowned. Who's
I can't
this?
imagine my mom ever writing
Gus?
poetry, and yet.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
That's cool.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Make him cry.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and
This is
full
weird.
of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Interesting.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Oh, really? Emergency evacuation plan. No playing outside without permission, no answering door for strangers, no messes after dark, all chores before dark, and respect others. Gaston Gregory? Race flag at 7:30, breakfast 8, quiet time 11 p.m. Sweep, trash, mop, mow yard. Great, be a baby. That's funny. Oh, cool.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
Wait, we're
At
gonna
the
go.
time, it was as far away as she could get.
Gonna go see what her mom's stuff looks like now. Maybe get some more answers. Oh, does she actually have a computer up here?
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Sanjay? Interesting. Fly to India. So she liked India. Yeah, there's a computer here. Indian carpentry.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Okay, is there anything? Aha.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back and to see kids in the house again.
Let's see. Oh. Anna Planet, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
What's going on in here?
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
It's like a little school. Be
But
dope.
it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
In Milton's room.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Yeah, but paintings can say a lot of things.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Let's see what Milton's thing says here.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Ooh. Imagine if that's actually technically what happened. That'd be pretty sick.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
It's kind of interesting. They say on his tombstone, or well, his memorial, they don't have a date, but they put a date here of 2000 and was that 2004? No, 2003. Maybe that's when he disappeared. This game is very interesting. It's kind of like Gone Home in a way.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Wait, why is it wanting me?
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
What did Milton find in the house? Oh, why did it have me go this way? I need to go up to the left here.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
The cannery. What's Lewis's room look like?
Everyone was
Oh,
telling
dang.
me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
It's like psychedelic, baby. Oh. Must be a... Oh, his freaking room's like an airplane. That's pretty dope. And he's got a hookah.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar.
Marijuana? Hey, almost looks like me. Got like a gaming setup here. Dude, that looks like the Logitech G9 or G510, which actually that is the Logitech G510. Like it has to be. It's exact because it's got the G keys. That's awesome. I have that keyboard in my closet right now. And of course I'm rocking the G910 right now.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Oh geez, all he has to do is chop Fish's head off.
But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions,
Talk about mundane task.
His mind began to
what? I can't.
wander.
Oh. Oh, yeah, he's a video game nerd. Yeah.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small. Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names.
And things that have not names, eh?
He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
What did he find?
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused.
Focused.
Like a whole new Lewis.
I mean, I'm literally playing this game while having to cut fish's
I
heads
let him
off right
go
now.
on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
A doggy.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
Lewistopia.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play.
It's very odd.
He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
It's a
He no
festival.
longer spoke at the cannery.
No longer spoke at the
But
cannery.
his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor.
Wouldn't he already be mayor? If he would name the city?
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering.
He's off
It
for
became a
adventure.
game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
He's growing his empire.
New Louisville. St. Louis.
St. Louis.
We started drifting away from our reality.
Oh no.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
Go
Even as
home.
his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
So I've like gone insane.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
No, I want to go.
beautiful prince,
No.
handsome queen,
Wait, why handsome queen? I don't get that.
the queen was on her own quest for
Radiant rainbows.
radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Oh, this is so trippy. Ugh. Freaking fish. Grab the fish.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Oh yeah? An emperor! A legendary being.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Oh, really?
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Whoa. Where am I? Oh, I'm at the cannery. Welcome to the cannery. Oh, hey, look, he's even got pot pictures and stuff at work. Like, who even, what?
He began to forget the world we know.
I suppose it is Washington. It's legal there.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
What is happening here? A lot of dead fish here. Can imagine the smell. It's probably just got a reek. Oh, I'm supposed to go up here, huh?
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
Oh, I bow to you, I bow.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
What was that? Die like everyone else in this game?
Bend down his head.
Yep. Bend down his head on the guillotine, of course. Wow, look at that.
The
Chapped.
rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Jeez.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Yeah, he seems like a cool dude, other than, I guess, kind of going crazy at the cannery there. Got his little piece there with some herbs to pack up that herb. Well, she's pregnant, I guess, whatever. Hey, look, are those Logitech G930s? Because these are Logitech G930s right here. Like, those look like Logitech G930s. That's actually, that's funny. That's funny right there. Oh,
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He
really?
died a lot.
Hmm.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing.
Oh,
She
really?
waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
That's a pretty game. The art style is pretty cool.
I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
There's probably just not much left here for you guys when so many people have passed
My mom
away.
ended up leaving everything behind.
Well, yeah, you can see that. Disaster relief.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time.
What is that?
Maybe it should have come sooner.
What happened?
But it had to end one way or another.
This is a cool room.
All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Yeah, I want to know. What happened, Edith?
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Okay, well, where am I going here?
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Nice.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
What are you
Edith
afraid
has
of?
a right to know these stories.
My
Right?
children are dead because of your stories. I
Ooh.
think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
History of the Finches.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This
Ooh.
is about what happened on the night you were born.
Oh, okay.
That night, the tide went way, way out.
Am I gonna get
It
to
was
go
the
there?
First and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd
Right.
been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
In your dreams.
But I never thought I'd go back to it.
Ooh, she went back to it.
When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started started seeing things.
Oh, hello.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly.
Did I have cancer or something?
She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive.
But what about Milton?
Until I found out about you.
Or I guess me, huh?
I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it.
Am I coming out of her vagina?
I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
So she was 22 weeks pregnant when we were at the house.
This is where your story begins.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Well, shit. Okay. So the whole time I was playing as her son, essentially, not as Edith. Wow. That was pretty good. For Shirley Dallas. Wow. It's a very interesting way of telling a story, and those are totally the G930s because they're wireless. Still wonder what happened with Milton though. Like, I don't get it. But, you know, that was a pretty cool game. I mean, it was a short game, but as I said, it's kind of like Gone Home if you've ever played that in a way. Very, obviously, kind of story-driven. Pretty cool story, little kind of mini concept games and stuff. The cool part was when I was a cat, I think. I feel like that was kind of cool, being all those different animals. The Dreadful Stories, playing as comic book type animations was pretty cool too. But kind of a sad story though. Like, I mean, everyone essentially died except for Edith's son's the only one left over. And then who knows if, I guess, Milton's out there somewhere. I kind of like how they did the credits too, with all these different. Man, it took him 5 years. That end. Not bad though. It's pretty cool. Wow. Alright, well that essentially concludes What Remains of Edith Finch. Pretty cool story. The only slight gripe I would have against this game would be the fact that they could have made more things a little bit more interactive, or like say for instance when we were in the basement with the pool table, you should have been able to like hit the balls, move them around or whatever if you want. You know, little things like that could have made the game a little bit more interactive and interesting. But again, really good story, kind of some cool concepts that happen there. But again, that concludes it. If you liked it, please give me a follow. I'll be uploading this on my YouTube and highlighting it on my Twitch. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.